Okay, so we are going to study how to build a human face based off of the flour sack methodology. And to do that, I need to have my brush selected. And the human head, if you think of it in two parts, there's the cranial skull, and then there is the lower portion or the jaw. So I'm just drawing up the mandible, drawing the molars too. And I'll go back to here and just add a little bit more so you can tell what I'm doing. In case you haven't drawn a skull in a while, you can tell I have drawn more than one skull in the past. There is your zygomatic arch. This is from Richard Williams's animation survival kit, something I recommend all of you pick up. Control G grouping that. I'm going to select all of this stuff by Control G grouping it, and I'm going to hit the old index finger mouse button, or I'm sorry, the pen button. We're going to convert this to a symbol. This is going to be mandible. Do that in all caps, I guess. Kind of make that epic mandible. And this is something that's always neat. You can take your area of rotation and lift that up so it's kind of closer where this is going to meet the head. Okay, sorry about that. I won't do that again if I can help it. I am going to go into this mandible and create another layer. This is going to be lines, just because I'll remember lines as a layer. This layer, I'm going to select a different color for, maybe white, and hit B for brush. Hit the, unfortunately, Flash does not have a useful quick key for making things larger and smaller like our friend Photoshop does, as useful as that would be. Well, this is going to make it easier for me to grab the jaw. And I guess I can call that paint. I mean, technically the lines are paint too as well. But hey, you know, it's not like it's like an extension of your body. You still are using a machine. Up here at the top, you'll see this is a symbol. You know, you can see the side of the symbol that says mandible instead of mandible. Sorry if it helped, if I could spell. Let me go back to drawing one. And now I can easily move mandible. I'm going to hit V as in victory. And you can see that this is able to do this, but I'm going to hit Q. And the human jaw is actually capable of moving around quite a bit. Again, this is based off of Richard Williams's book, The Animator Survival Kit. Humans can chew. We have that ability like cows and other creatures to chew our food. And that gives our face a lot of flexibility. Well, in the case of animation, quite often we're going to want to take this another couple of steps forward. So let me lock down those layers. You can see I'm just hitting this lock button here. It's one of the nice things about Flash. I'll admit Flash isn't a perfect program, but it's pretty good. You can do a lot in it. So thinking of the human head as being a flour sack, might be better to think of it as a modified flour sack. So this area of the cranial skull, that's going to always kind of stay a little bit solid, even on Goofy. Oh, yuck, right? Goofy. Or any character like this. This portion of the head stays fairly steady, though on Goofy they will stretch it out. It's like, gosh, right? You got all that crazy Goofy stuff going on. There's a little bit of stretch in this, but on more of a basic character like Mickey Mouse or some of the others, you're not going to want to do that. But this area down here, that is Wacky Land. That's where you can do whatever you want with it. So green, I guess green will show up okay. Hit B for brush. B is in brush, and down here is where you're going to draw your facial expression. Now, what does this lead to? Well, this leads to all sorts of silliness, like you know, being able to move the face in this a direction, or being able to move the face in this direction, right? Things can go. You can really mug with the face. You can pull it up high, or you can have the face kind of drip down like a big drop down. So with these sorts of expressions, it gives us a lot of capacity in order to modify how our character looks. So let me go ahead and kind of play around with that notion. I'm going to use a darker green. I'm going to hit Control Plus on my computer. However, for your computers, you're probably going to have to use something like the middle mouse button and the Control. So I apologize for that. Let me lower the size of this brush a little bit, and I'm going to make this guy really sad. So I'm going to give him kind of a drooping nose, a drooping mouth. This is more your Tex Avery stuff, right? Like the classic Disney test where it's like, how do we make a character's expression extremely sad? We let this kind of flow on down the face. Let's see kind of a mugging face. I'll make this angry so it's not just sad. But you can show like the initial notion of there being angry teeth, maybe. Angry teeth. I'm going to moosh you, right? Kind of angry teeth that I'm throwing on there, and this is the cleanup layer that I'm working on. This is kind of maybe if someone's going like, right. This is just kind of like a goofy expression. With the tongue shooting out lots of profuse amounts of saliva. However we want to do that. See, this is just the mouth. This is just the lower portion of the face. I'm going to add in a little bit of a blur of that happening as it goes from side to side. And I'll create another layer, go onto another layer and change the color a little bit for the eyes. Again, I typically draw the shape of the eyes before I draw in the pupils. We've discussed before that the pupils have to be on their own layer. So if I want to make like really sad eyes, got to turn the outlining off on this, right? Kind of sad eyes. Lower eyelids up indicates sadness. Then, oh, I'm so sad kind of thing. And then we can go in and add in like sad or stressed eyebrows kind of going up and pointing up like this. The forehead skin is naturally got a wrinkle in that. With anger, we want to kind of maintain this overall feeling of antagonism. I'm going to go in real fast and throw in a little bit of yellow. Why did I do that? Look what I did to that. I messed that up. I'm going to go in and kind of get some energy lines, right? I remember when I was working on Family Guy, season 2, was it? It was Peter Griffin's father. Neil Affleck, the director, had me kind of have Peter Griffin's father be this angry guy who aimed his chin at everything. And so, he would aim his chin at stuff. So I'm going to take that. Bully characters often will use that chin to point as a power center at a person to intimidate them. Unlike the genie who just uses it for attention. Plus he has that really cool kind of dingly beard that draws attention to it. Well, I've got this power center kind of flowing out here, and that's going to influence the expression. Nothing that we do as animators exists independent of the other factors within our toolkit. We always want to kind of play around with what's going to work to the best of our abilities. So like a smart fighter, we're going to use what works best. So I've got that figured out. In this case, I'm going to draw kind of like an overall kind of angry eye staring forward, and I might add in the pupil. And if I was to add in the nose even, I'd kind of add in the nose like this. This is going a little more extreme. This is a little more kind of Tex Avery, squash and stretch extreme animation. This is going to happen when you incorporate our old friend the flour sack into stuff. But this is where we start taking stuff past the point of what's humanly possible, and we get into the inhumanly possible category of what cartoons can do. This silly expression, I might just give like generic eyes. This is like someone who's kind of gotten Looney Toony, like, right? Like this is I've taken all I can and I can't take anymore, right? Kind of quality where you might have one frame where the nose is in this position and the head is in this position, and 2, it's flowed over to here. So you can see kind of the extremes of what's possible. Now we'll talk a little bit more about this flour sack construction of the head, and many of you who do your kind of cool anime, sophisticated characters with dignity, you simply won't slop to this kind of degenerated level of, you know, sadness or anger. Others of you are going to find that you fall into this category. You might as well explore this. Those of you who want to be professional character animators are going to want to take a look at this stuff to just see what your possibilities are, okay? So we'll follow up on that in the next video.